Welcome to another edition of Tom Sox Conversations. I'm Brendan Casera, joined by Kyle Battle, who is a part of the 2017 Tom Sox Championship team. Kyle, welcome, and how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, hanging in there, trying to get some baseball in while this crazy time's going on.
Yeah, crazy times for sure. And at first, I kind of want to look back at your time with the Tom Sox and really, how did that kind of come about? How did you end up in Charlottesville to play for the Tom Sox that summer?
So after my freshman year at ODU, Jeff Burton, all the guys up there, they were interested in me and Vinny Pasquantino, who also played on that team. So us both being freshmen, talked to Coach Finwood, and he thought that would be a good opportunity for us to go up there and play in Charlottesville. Valley League's a good league, good competition all around. Charlottesville is an excellent place to live. UVAs right there. The city of Charlottesville is beautiful. So that all lined up, and then we ended up getting Bryce Wyndham also, our ODU teammate. So all three of us came up there, and Will Morgan, another ODU guy, was also there for a little bit. So I think it was just good timing, right people. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, and what do you think, or why do you think that that team was so successful? What do you think kind of came together that made that team really what it was that season?
So in the beginning, when we first all got there and met each other and stuff, it was funny because a lot of us have actually played against each other or with each other growing up through little league stuff like that, travel ball. So I think the fact that we already had an idea of who each other were, and the style we play, I think that really helped because we clicked on the field, obviously, and off the field. It was like we were a family already before the first day there. So I think that just helped us get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and is there a specific memory with those guys that you have that just really sticks out from that season, that's kind of a go-to one that you won't forget from that summer?
I think probably the final out in that championship game. I still remember that today because I was in right field. Rick Spires was on the mound, and it was a ground ball back to him, flipped to first, and we dogpiled. I'll remember that for a long, long time. That was all that hard work over the summer, grinding out through the heat, stuff like that with all the guys. That moment right there just sealed the whole summer.
And obviously, you mentioned earlier the tough times for sure, and especially in the sports world. With everything that happened with your senior year getting cut short at ODU, are you planning on taking advantage of the NCAA allowing another year of eligibility, or are you going to move on from ODU going into next year?
So the plan right now, after the draft happened, unfortunately it was 5 rounds. I wasn't selected in that. Free agency is already happening, but nothing really too promising right now. There's some interest, stuff like that, but nothing definite right now. So I think Coach Finwood has been extremely supportive through this whole situation. This is a first for him as well. So he's welcoming me back with open arms. We're basically family. So anything he can do for me, he's going to do it. So he offered me a spot back on the team for next year. I think most likely that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm either have to do a double major or go to grad school. I don't know. We're still figuring that out, but I'm excited to be playing another year of baseball. I know it's not over, and hopefully I can perform another year at ODU and then enter my way into pro ball.
And what has training looked like for you this summer? Obviously no summer ball. So how have things really been different for you, and has training in and of itself been different for you to get ready for next season?
So when the season was cut, it was kind of weird. We didn't know what to do. We've kind of been, me and a couple teammates, we've been hidden wherever we could. We did have a weight room that one of our coach's buddies runs, so he's letting us use that. So we've just been doing anything possible to stay in it. We've been doing live at-bats with local guys in Norfolk, but fortunately, my summer season is still happening. I know y'all probably don't want to hear that because I'm playing with the Peninsula Pilots, so another team in Virginia. But we're supposed to be started July 3rd. So right now I'm just trying to get ready for that. It's upsetting to see that Charlottesville, all these other leagues aren't able to get this in. But unfortunately, I do have a summer season to look forward to, and right now I'm just trying to prepare for that in any way possible.
And take me back to the day that you found out about the season getting canceled. How did you find out? Where were you? Were you with the team or by yourself? How did that all go down?
This is actually funny because the day before we took a road trip to Campbell. So I don't even know how many hours that is from Norfolk, but road trip to Campbell. We get to Campbell. I think we had maybe 3 or 4 rain delays. So we didn't actually start the game until 9 o'clock. And then it was like wet. Like it was miserable out. Like Coach Finney was, if we're not starting this game before 9, we're just going to be on the bus and leave. And finished the game. Unfortunately, we lost that. I think I got back to my apartment at ODU at like 3:30 in the morning. So slept in, woke up, and I'm seeing all this stuff on Twitter that, like NBA's canceled, all these other leagues are canceling. I'm like, oh no, like this is going to trickle down. And then literally probably within the hour, I see on Twitter, that's how I found out first, was on Twitter that Conference USA has canceled the season, and eventually the NCAA has canceled the whole season. So unfortunately, I found out through Twitter, and then we had a team meeting about it later that day. But yeah, it was a crazy 2 days, especially with that Campbell road trip with the 3 or 4 rain delays and us getting back late.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely sounds like it. And, training this off season ever since the season ended, has there been one specific part of your game that you've really focused on and really honed in on to improve, or has it been kind of across the board for you?
Mainly across the board. If I had to like single out one thing, like I've been working really hard in the weight room. I'm trying to gain back all the strength that I may have lost during the first part of the season, because during the season, like, you just not much time to like really put on strength like that, put on muscle, stuff like that. It's kind of maintaining everything. So I'm using this time right now as an off season and trying to get back my weight and be good with my nutrition, stuff like that.
Have you been I know you mentioned the MLB draft and everything. Have you been in contact with anyone, around the league that have said, here's some things to kind of focus on in the off season to maybe get you there down the road?
Not necessarily. Most teams I've talked to or have interest in, they think I'm a pretty solid ball player, and I would like to think that myself too. I've worked really hard at this game, so I think I'm pretty solid. If anything, I did have labrum surgery on my shoulder. Was it 2 years ago? Around 2 years ago. So there's obviously I still need to continue to get my arm strength back and stuff like that. So if anything, it's really just continuing to develop my game as a whole, and then any rehab stuff I can still do to get my arm stronger, long toss, anything like that. That will always help.
What was that recovery process like with the labrum? Obviously it's been a couple of years now, but would you say things are pretty much back to normal now, or has it been kind of a long process and still building up some strength?
So process, I was in a sling for 6 weeks after that, June of 2018, I think, somewhere around there. I forget the exact date, but in a sling for 6 weeks. I couldn't throw, do anything, PT, anything like that for like 6 months. Then I got into that, and it's a slow recovery. Like the doctor said, you'd be good after 6 months. You're good to start throwing again, but it definitely takes longer than that. It probably took me up to this season. Like even last year playing, like my arm still wasn't the same. So it is unfortunate that this season got cut, because I was off to a hot start and I was finally back to 100% healthy since freshman year. So that really bummed me out. But I'm 100% now. Like I'm ready to play baseball now. I wish all this could just bypass and everyone could get back on the field now.
Yeah, and hopefully soon enough we'll be looking at that happening. One last question for you. During this time, probably a lot of downtime, even with still training and stuff like that. Any special TV shows, movies, anything like that you've kind of watched and taken advantage of some of that downtime to watch?
trying to find movies that I haven't seen. Like, we watch movies all the time during the year, so there's that. I guess a TV show I kind of got interested in is How to Get Away with Murder. Like, interesting show. Their decisions, I don't really I question a lot, but a lot of my time has been spent on MLB The Show. So there's my baseball fix right there. I spend probably a bit too much time on there, but there's downtime after I get my work in. If I spend hours on the game, it is what it is.
Yeah, and hopefully, soon enough, it looks like we're going to have Major League Baseball to watch as well. Kyle, thanks for joining us. And be sure to follow us on Tom Sox and Valley League social media and YouTube. Once again, I'm Brendan Casera. Thanks for joining us for Tom Sox Conversations.